Welcome to this special edition of Cronkite News. I'm Ben Marjat. Thanks for joining us. The Cronkite School is proud to house the Donald W. Reynolds Center for Business Journalism. It provides a training ground and resource for our reporters covering money, trade, and industry worldwide. Tonight, a look back at some of our stories on the Money Beat.
Today marks the day of Phoenix Startup Week, where a variety of entrepreneurs will speak across the valley. Reporter Sydney Glenn attended a panel focused on veteran entrepreneurs and found out what this week holds.
Veterans in entrepreneurship, women in entrepreneurship, Hispanics in entrepreneurship, those are all things that are going to be touched on this week at Phoenix Startup Week.
That's been going on, especially in the past 10 plus years, is that veterans are either a charity case.
And that's the narrative Philip Potter wants to change.
The narrative that's been going on, especially in the past 10 plus years, is that veterans are either a charity case.
Phoenix Startup Week began this morning with the Veterans and Entrepreneurship panel.
Well, I think veteran entrepreneurship is so important just because the veteran community, they have characteristics that make them great entrepreneurs already.
According to the Department of Veterans Affairs, there are over 500,000 veterans in Arizona. Potter says many of those would make exceptional entrepreneurs.
Again, we're happy to help, we're happy to be involved, but given our druthers, I think we'd rather lead. We do have big ideas we can execute, so I think it all works out great for startups.
Entrepreneurs from around the country came to hear from the speakers and hopefully get some advice on how to make their startup a success.
Founders is venture capitalists and people that have had more experience than me. I'm like a dinosaur, but I did dream this up. Phoenix
Startup Week is at a different venue every day in the Valley, from Phoenix to Chandler and Scottsdale.
What this does is it really highlights everything that's happening across the Valley and all the different kind of, bits of DNA really within the startup ecosystem that we have here in Arizona.
You can register for this event online. It is free. Just visit phxstartupweek.com. In downtown Phoenix, I'm Sydney Glenn, Cronkite News.
To fans, spring training means baseball is back, but to host cities, it's all about the economic draw. Christina Vicario tells us how some stadiums have made vast developments in order to make sure fans stay in their cities long after the game.
Many of the 10 ballparks hosting spring training over the next month and a half here in the Valley were built to be centerpieces of economic development for the land immediately surrounding them. One of the pioneers in this trend, the Peoria Sports Complex, spring training home of the Seattle Mariners and San Diego Padres since 1994.
It certainly made private entrepreneurs want to be here because it's just so conducive to having, a lot of excitement and energy and entertainment. Entertainment begets entertainment. And so it really helped a lot. They both helped each other.
Nearly 1.9 million fans attended Cactus League games in 2015. This generated $809 million in economic impact for the state, according to studies commissioned by the Cactus League.
I would argue that for all the venues, there's positive growth. It's accurate to say that some areas have grown faster than others, but it has been uniformly positive.
One venue still awaiting significant growth beyond its fences, Goodyear Ballpark, where the Cleveland Indians and Cincinnati Reds train.
Several of the ballparks got finished in the late 2000s. The Great Recession was in the late 2000s. So it was one of timing where did everything happen as we originally intended? Not quite. But what has happened is growth is happening here.
Development is expected soon, with the planned 5-story Aloft Hotel just beyond center field, a first step towards a model that has proven successful for Peoria.
If you own the land, you can say, developers, come here, we will help you, we will partner with you. We have open arms for you to come here and spur more development.
Peoria continues its blueprint to expand as the city hopes to keep even more diehard baseball fans within city borders. In Peoria, I'm Christina Vicario, Cronkite News.
Our Cronkite Sports Department dug deep into the big business of spring training here in the Valley. For our full multimedia reports, visit cronkitenews.azpbs.org.
Phoenix Startup Week is coming to a close, but not without an event that's the first of its kind. Cronkite News reporter Gilbert Cordova spoke with filmmakers about an all-Arizona project. Gilbert?
Filming a movie is not easy, especially when the funding does not come the normal way. But a filmmaker here in Arizona did not take no for an answer.
The filmmaker who succeeds, if you're lucky enough to succeed in making a film, is one that doesn't give up.
Producer and director Marcus De Leon held a presentation for his new feature film project that highlights the beautiful landscape Arizona has to offer, but also tells a meaningful story.
The movie is at its core about belonging, and all three characters, a brother and two sisters, each of them has a belongingness, a gap in the family they need to close.
As De Leon mentioned in his presentation, it wasn't always easy. He received numerous no's. Until fate would have it, the perfect investors came.
It was a matter of convincing people that this was an entrepreneurial effort.
Robert Hungate of Desert Angels, a Tucson, Arizona-based nonprofit organization of accredited investors, heard De Leon's pitch and found interest in his idea.
Entrepreneurial work always has things that go wrong as you go through it. So that if you're going to do entrepreneurship, you have to expect that things will happen. But you have to focus on the end result.
When asked what is the outcome De Leon wants from theatergoers,
People to walk out of the theater and say, I want to go get my brother in Ohio and my sister in Washington State and take a road trip with them.
the film is still in post-production as we speak, but will premiere in fall 2016. In downtown Phoenix, I'm Gilbert Cordova, Cronkite News.
3 solo skydivers have died at a skydiving facility in Eloy, Arizona in just 3 months. Reporter Chloe Nordquist went down to the largest drop zone in the state, Skydive, Arizona, to find out more about the deaths and overall skydiving safety.
Skydiving is one of the few sports regulated by the federal government. The FAA has standards parachutes have to meet. However, those regulations don't always prevent accidents, and last year 21 fatalities were reported at certified skydiving facilities across the country. This smooth landing was executed by an expert skydiver, but it's the experts that are at a greater risk for a fatal dive.
Those 3 recent fatalities, as I've pointed out elsewhere in the media, all 3 of them were so-called expert skydivers. With the student program, we've never had a serious accident.
Burke says there's a common misconception that fatalities stem from parachutes failing to operate.
Almost all skydiving accidents can be attributed to operator error. I would say probably upwards of 80% of it, the skydiver's equipment is functioning properly, and then they mishandle an emergency.
The most common cause of death? Going into a turn too fast and too close to the ground, which plays a factor in 2 of the most recent fatalities at Skydive, Arizona. But skydive expert and instructor Melissa Lowe says starting with a proper foundation can make all the difference. Simple things like knowing the emergency procedure.
It pulls the second parachute for us. There's a lot of different levels to be able to communicate to people, and the best way to do that is as an instructor.
While skydiving may seem to have a higher risk factor, psychologist Linda May says statistically, jumping out of a plane with a parachute is less dangerous than driving.
Statistics actually show that you are more likely to die while driving than you are when skydiving. People have a different perceived risk of skydiving.
We're dealing with a fairly small statistical pool, but to have 3 in a few weeks like we did is pretty much unheard of.
After every successful jump, the fear factor goes down, says May, but in seconds, one mistake could cost you your life. Skydive Arizona, a drop zone that attracts national skydiving teams and military personnel, sees anywhere from 110 to 150,000 jumps a year. While the company says it checks every visiting diver for credentials and legal equipment, human error by skydivers is out of its control. In Phoenix, Chloe Nordquist, Cronkite News.
Whether you're a snowbird or vacationer, short-term home rentals are another option when you're looking for a place to stay.
And now the state legislature is taking a harder look at them. Cronkite News reporter Chloe Nordquist has more on how a Senate bill could affect those rentals. Chloe?
Hotels aren't the only place to stay while traveling. Airbnb and vacation rentals give visitors the option to be more integrated in the local culture. A bill currently in the House could prevent local governments from regulating these rentals. The John Reardon House, high on the hill of Jerome, is the former residence of wealthy mining executives. Glenn Odegaard, the owner of this historic house, rents it out year-round to tourists. Now, he's filed suit with 4 others against the town because of a proposal that would ban such rentals.
Everybody knew we were operating as a legitimate business. Then we got a letter saying, from the town of Jerome saying,
short-term rentals are not allowed.
Arizona's Senate Bill 1350 would prevent local governments like Jerome and Sedona from banning vacation rentals, including Airbnb postings.
Right now, unfortunately, we have the Goldwater Institute. We've had to sue the town of Jerome in order to allow us to continue renting.
People's property rights need to be respected, and this legislation, as well as our lawsuit against the town of Jerome, is about protecting property rights.
The bill was introduced by Senator Debbie Lesko. If SB 1350 passes, Arizona would be the second state to place a statewide ban prohibiting short-term rentals.
The SB 1350 will now allow us to operate as vacation rentals legally and not have us be in turmoil with the town.
However, Ken Strobick with the Arizona League of Cities and Towns disagrees. He says, quote, any kind of statewide preemption is the sort of thing we philosophically don't believe in. We think that those decisions are best made on a city-by-city basis. Odegaard is hoping to continue sharing the history of the town through renting his house. The bill would also allow websites to collect taxes on behalf of the property owners. SB 1350 passed the third reading in the Senate on March 8th, 27-1. If it is not passed in the current legislative session, Odegaard says it may be put off until next year. In downtown Phoenix, Chloe Nordquist, Cronkite News.
Technology has made our lives easier, but there are also downsides. Photo leaks of private pictures or computer viruses that steal your personal information are a few.
But Cronkite News reporter Z Zhang found out how one Arizona company is working to give you a little more privacy.
Nowadays, everyone has a smartphone, but what most people don't always think about is that it can also be used by hackers to track your location, eavesdrop on your conversations, and even watch you through the high-definition cameras, whenever, wherever, without you noticing. When Mike Fawn heard about the government surveillance programs leaked by former NSA contractor Edward Snowden in 2012, he decided to do something.
So I asked one of my daughters to come over. I said, hey, bring your phone over here. I grabbed some aluminum foil. I said, wrap your phone up in aluminum foil here. Let's see if I can call you. And we're trying to peek in and see if I could, if the signal was going down.
What started as a scientific experiment has turned into his company Privoro. Its main product, a phone case that uses a proprietary technology to jam radio transmission, so that any attempt to drop in on phone conversations would be extremely difficult. In a friendly experiment, he told an employee to carry a smartphone while he was driving. It didn't take long for Mike to hack in, take pictures and audio recordings. The quality of the audio is so good you can even hear the sound of the blinker.
Would have to address Hillary and Bush.
Mike says this information can be collected without your knowledge and used for purposes you might not like.
Companies, governments can be using that picture to make decisions. Hey, what should your insurance rate should be? What rate should I charge you on a loan? Do I think you're going to repay it? Should you go on a watch list?
Jamie Winterton is the Director of Strategic Research Initiatives at Arizona State University and a cybersecurity expert. She agrees with Vaughn.
So a lot of companies on the web will follow your behavior. They will track how you behave on the web. They'll track how much time you spend looking at particular parts of websites, where you click and where you go next. And they use this to build a very intricate and detailed profile about you and your online behaviors.
Winterton also says if this information was leaked, it can be used for malicious purposes. As of now, the company is offering pre-orders online for iPhone 6 and computer. In Z-Zone, Cronkite News.
The Arizona Diamondbacks have called downtown Phoenix home for nearly 30 years. Nearly 20 years, but after recent disagreements with Maricopa County, could they be on the move? Reporter Blake Bernard took a look into the situation and how it could affect the fortunes of downtown Phoenix.
It's opening day for the Arizona Diamondbacks, but even before first pitch, they enter the season with uncertainty regarding their future in Phoenix.
What would happen to downtown Phoenix if the Diamondbacks left? That's the question after the D-backs recently expressed interest in finding a new venue to play games, due to what they call Maricopa County's failure to keep Chase Field in state-of-the-art shape.
That'd be difficult. There are important aspects of downtown. Then they started giving faith to folks that this was a place that others could be.
The Diamondbacks were key in the resurgence of downtown Phoenix, and their absence would be felt.
An impact on some of the quick things like restaurants and bars and things around the stadiums.
Local businesses would initially be hurt as their customer base declined.
Sports are the centerpiece of the community,
and especially downtown with the stadiums that we have here. It's very bad news. You know, we would like them to stay.
But more importantly, the overall development of the area, like housing and shops, could be stunted.
As evident from all the apartments, condos, and buildings being constructed more regularly here in downtown Phoenix, the area has developed significantly since the Arizona Diamondbacks started playing baseball in 1998.
This development could mean it's not the end of the world if the D-backs left. The area has become vibrant with stores, restaurants, and housing. Clock points to Arizona State University's downtown campus as a huge driver in the overall success.
So we've created a neighborhood down here. A place like ASU it brings obviously a lot of life with the students, life to the sidewalks on a daily basis.
In the end, if the Diamondbacks leave, life goes on and the city will move forward.
We've had down times before and survived, and we would have to just do that if that happened.
Under the Diamondbacks' current lease agreement with Maricopa County, they can begin looking for a new stadium in 2024. Until then, they will remain here at Chase Field playing games, and they may face a legal battle with Maricopa County. In Phoenix, Blake Bernard, Cronkite News.
A new addition to Phoenix's growing warehouse district aims to bring a sense of community to the area. Cronkite News reporter Gilbert Cordova went to a ribbon-cutting event ceremony that gave a new purpose to an old building.
Let's go. There you go. Vintage 45 is an adaptive reuse event venue where families and the community can hold events such as celebrations and even an urban garden.
Well, this event today, I would say, is a dream come true for us.
Anais Freitas, who is originally from Sao Paulo, Brazil, is new to the valley, but says the community vibe the venue brings is something that reminds him of home.
And this is something so strong for me as far as my culture is concerned, but also the fact that I truly believe, regardless of culture, people deep inside of them, they desire community.
But what does it replace? An old tractor sales showroom. So what is adaptive reuse? According to the Webster's Dictionary, it's the renovation or the reuse of an old structure, just like this. Examples of other adaptive reuse spaces include the Deuce, the Croft, and advertising firm R&R Partners, just to name a few. Each one of these businesses has changed an old warehouse into a new thriving location, something U.S. Congressman Ruben Gallego feels will positively affect the area.
And those kinds of things are really important because you don't want people tearing down, places of historic value, because Phoenix doesn't really have that many to begin with. So that's really good that they're doing it and then also incorporating it to downtown.
The Vintage 45 restoration cost an estimated $1.4 million according to Freitas, but what he says it brings to the area is worth much more.
It's more than simply one more business in a warehouse district. It's truly a place where we want to serve the community in different ways.
And the sense of community and the vision Freitas mentions is what is needed to combine hip and historic into one. In downtown Phoenix, Gilbert Cordova, Cronkite News.
Freitas says the public is free to visit the venue at any time, but the official grand opening isn't until Monday.
In the growing Phoenix economy, global networking is as critical as ever.
Reporter James Ulrich went to the America's Competitive Exchange, or ACE, event to find out why countries like India are investing in the Southwest United States.
Experts gathered here at Phoenix Union High School say Arizona is a hotbed for innovation and entrepreneurship. Arizona is one of 4 states in the nation to increase their exports from 2014 to 2015. 45 representatives from 24 different countries were in Arizona to celebrate.
Much of the success of our economies have been built on immigration, people working relationships with people from different countries.
ACE provides a foundation for Arizona's business leaders to extend their networks beyond U.S. borders.
A diaspora, for example, between Silicon Valley and the country of India has resulted in great leaps in terms of information technology.
According to the U.S. Department of Commerce, 95% of the world's population is outside the United States. Targeting these consumers is what puts Arizona ahead of the curve.
They're planning to market themselves as a hub for economic opportunities in the future, and sort of shedding off of saying that historical legacy of being a stop and go travel and tourism destination.
Arizona approached $13 billion in goods exported internationally for 2014, and that supports more than 93,000 jobs in the state. In Phoenix, I'm James Ulrich, Cronkite News.
The number of qualifying medical marijuana patients in Arizona has increased nearly 30% in the last year alone. Reporter Chloe Nordquist has more on how the Arizona Department of Health Services is accommodating the growth.
Encanto Green Cross Dispensary in Phoenix has seen sales increase 35% per month. The business opened for medical marijuana patients in July 2013 and has grown to see 400 to 600 patients a day.
We're real people helping real people, and we care about the patients.
Nick Quiaris recently bought more land for production. This summer, Encanto Green Cross will begin greenhouse cultivation in addition to its indoor facility. Medical marijuana sales in Arizona are budding. In January 2015, 2,252 pounds of marijuana were sold. This January, sales increased to over 3,900 pounds.
We've seen a pretty steady growth. I think at this time we're just over 90,000 qualifying patients. At this time last year, we were right around 65,000 qualifying patients.
In 2010, voters approved a medical marijuana system, allowing 126 dispensaries across the state based on geographic areas. Only 100 dispensaries were established during the initial allocation in 2012, leaving 26 certificates available. The Arizona Department of Health Services is taking applications for these spots this summer, but this time they're basing the locations on patient density.
We're looking at patient density within 10 miles of the proposed address, factoring in existing dispensaries within 10 miles as well.
For business owners like Quiaris, the addition of more dispensaries may or may not affect his business.
It depends on the particular areas that are needed. Wherever the patients are needed is where they're going to allow them to be at.
In Phoenix, Chloe Nordquist, Cronkite News.
Information on dispensary applications and areas will be available on the Arizona Department of Health Services website this summer.
Technology and art sounds like an unusual combination, but Cronkite News reporter Gilbert Cordova met with one Valley artist whose photography came to life.
Behind me, it looks like normal windows, but that wasn't the case when these windows, with the help of a flick of a hand, transformed into a work of modern-day art.
Basically, they're using some of my photography for the content that they're displaying here, myself and another artist.
With photographer from Phoenix, Hector Primero, the historic A.E. England building in downtown Phoenix turned into a new art exhibit as technology and art combined to bring new life to empty windows over the past weekend.
I think this is something that is pretty groundbreaking and something that I think the city of Phoenix could really use on some of these empty windows that you see driving through at night, because it makes it come alive.
Primero's photography that shows locations in Phoenix then and now really attracted a crowd. While visitors waved their hands or danced in front of the windows, the images changed.
And the innovation is combining digital technology and art to create this entirely new approach to artwork in downtown.
The exhibit, part of the Innovation Games, was a challenge to the Arts and Culture Department to make public art more engaging to the new generation, something Mayor Greg Stanton felt was important to the city.
I really just wanted to make sure we're doing something very interactive, that when people come downtown and they have a great art experience.
From young to old, people came and stopped and looked at the artwork, taking in the bigger picture of what the exhibit means.
This particular exhibit is about humans' interaction with their environment and the ability to manipulate the environment.
Primero says he feels honored to have his artwork being displayed. His main motivation?
For me, it was all curiosity.
From simply posting a photo on Facebook.
From there, other people started contacting me, and then it just kind of went wild. And next thing I know, I'm having a show at a gallery, and here we are now, standing here as part of something with the city of Phoenix. Being sponsored by the mayor. So I'm pretty blessed with this.
So what's next? Although there isn't another exhibit planned at the moment, both the mayor and city officials say they want to expand the exhibit next time to an even larger scale. In downtown Phoenix, I'm Gilbert Cordova, Cronkite News.
The sandwich chain Which Witch is also feeling the giving spirit. Their project PB&J is helping Arizona's largest shelter.
Cronkite News reporter Alexis Dominguez has the details on how a classic PB&J can mean so much more.
More than 60 volunteers of all ages helped with Project PB&J this year. Volunteers worked to make as many sandwiches as they could in an hour to benefit UMOM in Arizona. Peter and Kim Green, owners of 14 Which Witch locations in Phoenix, say that this event is important because it helps incorporate them into the community.
We wanted to do something that would allow us to invest back in the community, and we really don't say give back to the community because we're part of the community.
Peter and Kim say they looked at several different foundations and chose UMOM because they felt the sandwiches would benefit the most amount of people. Farrah Walling, Resource Development Manager at UMOM New Day Center, says UMOM is Arizona's largest shelter for homeless families.
We serve all of Maricopa County, but we are the largest in the entire state. Last year we served about 6,300 individuals.
As part of this project, volunteers were able to make 4,325 sandwiches. Walling explained that all the sandwiches were going to make a positive impact on the shelter.
Is really going to help UMOM be able to feed the single women that we shelter and the families that we shelter, mostly in our Watkins emergency shelter.
Walling says UMOM does not have a food program and the sandwiches will allow them to feed more people.
We don't have any funding for food, so we rely on volunteers to serve the meals.
Project PB&J is done in several different cities around the United States every year on National PB&J Day. In Phoenix, Alexis Dominguez, Cronkite News.
That's it for Cronkite News tonight. We're proud to be the news division of Arizona PBS. For top stories anytime, go to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.
For only the third time in the award's 74-year history, a Phoenix-based news operation wins the prestigious Alfred I. DuPont Columbia Award for Excellence in Broadcast Journalism. And this year, that news operation is Cronkite News, the news division of Arizona PBS, honored for its work on the groundbreaking documentary, Hooked, Tracking Heroin's Hold on Arizona. Cronkite News at Arizona PBS, award-winning journalism you can count on from the station you trust.